Welcome to In the Lab. I'm Dr. Tracy Gibbs, Chief Science Officer for LifeWise, and I'm here every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time to train on the amazing products and the wonderful ingredients that are found in the LifeWise products. These are products that are near and dear to my heart because, again, I formulated them myself. Most of them are made in facilities that I either own or co-own. And, we use cutting edge delivery technology. It's one thing I've specialized in for most of my career. And tonight, we're going to be talking about an ingredient that is also very special to me because it's one that I had to do quite a bit of research on early on. Well, I shouldn't say too early on in my career. It's about 20 years ago I came across this ingredient, but it wasn't really well known at all. In fact, I used it in a formula in 1998 and it just didn't sell. Nobody knew anything about it. It wasn't a popular ingredient. It really never took off. And so when it came time to formulate, I guess, a product that I had complete control of and that I knew I'd be able to train on, I knew I had to use this ingredient, and I found the perfect formula to put it into, and that's Restore by LifeWise. Restore is a combination of an extract from boswellic acids, which comes from frankincense, and then a SMEDS or self-microemulsifying drug delivery technology of curcumin, and not just one type of curcumin, but multiple types of curcumins, or what we call curcuminoids. These are the extracts from the turmeric root. These are both lipid-soluble ingredients, or ingredients that dissolve in fats. The ingredient I'm going to train on tonight blends very well with those because it is also a fat, but it also has remarkable clinical studies for inflammation and pain. And so tonight I'm going to be training on an ingredient that in this industry we call PEA. And it's because we always call it PEA because it's kind of a tongue twister to say. It's palmitoylethanolamide. So if you break it down, if you want to say this word, you can. If you break it down into the three different ways of saying it, we have the P and the E and the A, PEA. Palmitoyl is the precursor to the ethanol, and then the mide, meaning a fattiest substance. So palmitoylethanolamide is how you say this word properly. But again, you don't have to remember that. Just remember PEA. And if you want to know where it's at and you want to spell it correctly, flip the box over to the supplement facts panel, and it's the very last word right there. Now, yes, we do write these in order of amounts, but just because it's the last, don't think that, oh, it must be in like micro doses or have no efficacy, because that's just not the case. Now, PEA is quite effective at low doses, and some of the studies I'm going to read will explain that. But this product only has like 3 active ingredients in it. As I mentioned, it's the curcuminoids, the boswellic acids, and PEA. So those are your 3 ingredients. And when you look at the dose right here per 2 capsules, it's 1,000 milligrams. And many of you know that taking 400 or 500 milligrams of curcuminoids is sufficient when it comes to boswellic acids. I know some people that use like frankincense essential oils, and they use a drop or 2. So we're talking small milligram amounts of that. Although I don't have that. I've got much, much more than just 20, 30, 40 milligrams. I believe we have well over a couple hundred milligrams of the boswellic acids in there. So I have plenty of room to put the active dose needed, or the clinical dose needed, in order for the PEA to be effective. But it is less than curcumin, and it is less than the boswellic acids for its activity, and that's why it's listed as the last ingredient on the formula. one question I get asked about, not just this formula, but all of the formulas at LifeWise all the time. People always ask, how come you use so many different ingredients? You know, can't you just use like the most popular ingredients? Like you see, for example, at Costco, you see curcumin, or Costco, they call it like turmeric root extract. Or if you go to other stores or retailers or online, you'll see, hey, St. John's wort, hey, here's slippery elm bark, hey, here's this or here's that. Why do you always have combinations in your products? Well, if you don't know me or my background, I am a pharmacognosist. And as a pharmacognosist, my specialty is in plant phytochemicals or phytochemistry and compounding. Compounding is the science where 2 times 2 can equal 8 sometimes, or 16, depending on the compound and how you multiply its effect with like compounds. Now, the reason why these 3 compounds, curcumin, the boswellic acids, and PEA, are a perfect match together is because they're all lipid soluble and they all work in reducing inflammation, but from different pathways. So let's talk a little bit about, and you guys, information on curcumin is readily available out there. I've done lots of trainings on it, so we're not going to talk about that tonight. We're not going to talk about the AKBA found in the boswellic acid that makes our product so special either. Those are found on our YouTube channel if you want to learn more about those. Tonight, we're just going to focus on the PEA. So because it's compounded with these other ingredients, the PEA is multiple times stronger than it is normally all by itself. But because it is lipid, it was easily formed into a liposome, which is part of the technology that we use in Restore. And it made it much more bioavailable, and because it's combined with the other ingredients, much more potent. But I highly doubt you're going to see PEA as a standalone ingredient out there just because a lot of people don't know about it. So let's learn about it tonight. You know, back in 2017, 2018, there was this huge CBD craze out there where everybody was wanting CBD. Everybody was buying CBD. Sales went from like 0 to a multi-billion-dollar industry in just a matter of months, or just within a year or two. And yet what happened is you had all sorts of regulatory issues coming out with CBD because of its controversial source, the marijuana. Not so much the hemp, because Canadians especially have been growing THC-free hemp for a long time in our country. We used to grow it in the United States. In fact, when Thomas Jefferson bought the Louisiana Purchase, you know, a good chunk of the middle section of America, it was required for homesteaders to have at least 40 acres of hemp. And then the United States Navy would buy that hemp to make rope for our warships. Anyway, but because of the controversial nature of CBD and its origins, you had all sorts of regulatory bodies trying to restrict it. What they didn't understand, though, is that cannabinoids, which is what CBD basically stands for, cannabinoids is a broad range of phytochemical compounds that are found in many plants, including peanuts, cruciferous vegetables like cauliflower, Brussels sprouts, broccoli. Egg yolks contain a type of cannabinoid, and that is in the form of PEA. I'm not saying PEA is a cannabinoid, but it is a cannabinoid-like substance that's very similar. I guess you could call it a cousin to cannabinoids, but it works the same way. It helps alleviate pain through building bridges and better communication for your neural pathways. So for example, I don't want to get too much into specific diseases, but like with epilepsy, there are certain neural pathways that fire too much when you're epileptic, or that shut off at certain times. And that's why like CBD was so beneficial for epileptic patients, because it would trigger or turn off those neural pathways, and PEA does the same thing. It helps with pain management by restoring and repairing nerve damage. Now, I'll get to the science behind that and the clinical studies that have been published behind that, but just know that PEA works with your what's called the ECS or endocannabinoid system. It's kind of like your central nervous system. It's a series of systems in your body. The endocannabinoid system is a real system found within your body that degrades over time unless you nourish it. And you can only nourish it by eating like egg yolks, peanuts, cruciferous fruits and vegetables. All the things that kind of our society is shunning nowadays are like, oh, don't eat egg yolks because it's bad for your heart, or don't eat peanuts because of the allergies, or nobody likes Brussels sprouts, right? And so PEA is highly deficient from our diets, and that's why supplementing with it is so important to protect and preserve your endocannabinoid system so that these nerve-related disorders don't become a problem as you get older. But one of the main reasons why I guess PEA never really took off and why CBD is so highly regulated right now is because they're just not very well known. But let's talk about the difference a little bit between PEA and CBD and why at LifeWise we chose to use PEA in this product instead of CBD, even though a lot of people were asking us for CBD. It was a practical choice. Number one, well, here are some reasons why. There is quite a lot of, I guess, safety data regarding CBD, but not at clinical efficacious doses. Small doses of CBD it's perfectly safe. But when you start taking therapeutic doses and your sourcing is kind of sketchy still, in other words, not very many growers test for THC, and all types of CBD do have even micro or trace amounts of THC, probably not enough to make you test positive for a drug test, but they're still there. And THC does over time mess with your mind. PEA has none of those safety concerns at all. PEA also is not WADA banned. So if you look at the ingredients in Restore, curcumin, boswellic acid, and PEA, if you're an athlete, you can safely use all of those products and not have any fear of doping or positive drug tests if you're a collegiate athlete or a professional athlete. We can't do that with CBD. In fact, most of our military and most of our athletes still are not allowed to use CBD if they're playing professional sports. Well, with PEA, that is not a concern. PEA is not listed under the WADA, the World Anti-Doping Association. It is not listed under WADA as a banned substance. Regulatory-wise also, the FDA has cracked down on CBD, and even county by county and state by state, it varies as to whether you can buy it or use it with prescription only or whatnot. There's way too many regulatory hurdles. And with PEA, there are none of those regulatory hurdles. It is approved as a dietary supplement, not only in the USA, but in Australia, in Canada, in the EU. It is a dietary supplement ingredient or a food extract, and therefore safe and no regulatory agencies banning it. So at LifeWise, we chose to use the PEA in Restore instead of CBD. Now let's get to the science and what it does. By the way, PEA and the brand of PEA that we buy has FDA approved structure function claims. And I'm going to read those structure function claims to you. And those claims alone will give you an idea of, number one, what you can say legally regarding the PEA in our product. And it'll give you an idea of what it does. Number one, benefits of PEA. It supports symptoms of mild to moderate osteoarthritis. Number two, it supports healthy joint function. Number three, supports joint stiffness. And number three, supports joint comfort. These are all FDA approved claims for the particular brand of PEA that we buy. There are 5 peer-reviewed published clinical studies regarding our PEA. Number 1 study, PEA demonstrated dose-dependent improvement in WOMAC scores, which WOMAC, by the way, is the discomfort, stiffness, achiness, and function It's a score that doctors give you when you go in for like hip issues or knee issues, pain management issues in any of your joints, things like that. You can Google WOMAC. It's WOMAC, WOMAC scores. But in other words, it showed improvement in WOMAC scores compared to a placebo in the management of mild to moderate osteoarthritis. Here's another study that was done over a 14-day period. The liposomal PEA offers morning and evening joint ache reduction when compared to a placebo over a 14-day period, suggesting that PEA may be a beneficial and effective treatment for joint pain. Here's another study. Our liposomal PEA was shown to reduce anxiety and improve quality of life, providing PEA's relevance in application for sleep aids. Now, I actually take my Restore, I take 2 capsules at bedtime, and I take 2 capsules in the evening. Now, I take 2 capsules at bedtime because that's when your body heals and repairs itself. That's when your growth hormone levels kick in, all of your endogenous antioxidants kick in. So I don't take this product at night because it helps me sleep better. I take it at night because it provides the nutrients my body needs to heal and repair itself. Plus, I wake up feeling great, and when I get out of bed, I don't have that old man grunt, like getting out of bed stiffness when I take it in the evening. I also take it in the morning, though, after I work out because that's when my muscles are a little sore, my knees are a little achy because I play really hardcore basketball, hardcore for my age anyway. I play with a lot of guys that are younger than me, and so my knees need that extra double dose in the morning. So I take 2 capsules at bedtime and 2 capsules in the morning. But here's a study showing that the particular type of PEA that we use can help reduce anxiety and improve quality of life, which can help you sleep better. I'm going to read another human clinical study. This was done in 2020 that demonstrated the benefits of our PEA for recovery. It significantly reduced levels of myoglobin, which, by the way, is a marker for muscle damage, if you don't know that. When you lift weights heavy and you rip those muscles apart, your myoglobin levels like increase dramatically. And if you can reduce those levels, it increases the speed of your recovery time. So anyway, it stimulates the AKT-BKB pathway. You would only know that if you're like a supreme bodybuilder or something. But basically what that means is that it helps your body clean out lactic acid faster, reduces myoglobin levels so that your muscles can repair themselves faster. So basically that's a performance-based clinical study right there. Here's the last study, and this is why I have my mother take Restore. She takes 2 capsules before bed every night too. Our liposomal PEA was proven to reduce diabetic peripheral neuropathic pain and inflammation over an 8-week period. If you have not had this peripheral type of neuropathy in your legs, it's typically in your legs for most people. That type of pain it's really bad. It was making it to where my mother was having difficulty walking. Now, yes, she is older. She's now, what is my mom? 86, 87 years old? Can't remember for sure. Somewhere around there. But I should know that. Either way, it helped her tremendously. And we even doubled her dose up to 4. I think she was taking 4 capsules of the Restore every day, and she still does. It's part of her daily routine. And by the way, she called me yesterday, and she was telling me how she was able to walk to her cafeteria in her retirement home without her little cart. She's got one of these little electric carts, and she's working hard and trying to restore the mobility in her legs. And she was able to walk to the cafeteria and walk back without any problems. And I walked her, by the way, about 500 yards to my daughter's, Veterans Day program at school. And we had to park quite a distance because it's a popular Veterans Day program. So the parking lot and all the roads around were full. And we had to park and then walk to the gym where my daughter was performing and then walked all the way back. And she did just fine with that walk too. So And a couple of years ago, she couldn't have done that. Anyway, I think I've used up most of my time. I've stated the 5 clinical studies and the benefits of PEA, and that it is it's a endocannabinoid-like lipid that benefits our body. So I hope you've had a decent understanding of PEA now and how it can benefit you and your loved ones. We have hit over 100 viewers tonight, and so I have been told that I can give a special sale that Rob, my partner, and co-owner of LifeWise, has shared with me, saying that if we hit over 100 viewers live tonight, I would be able to offer this sale. So here it is. From now until midnight Central Time, you can order 2 Restore and get 1 free. So that's roughly 33% off. If you're one of the people like me who use this on a daily basis, or you double or triple the dose because you are a loved one or somebody you know has issues with inflammation, and you want to support healthy inflammation levels, or you just, like me, want to use it because you're a semi-moderate athlete, or maybe you're a bodybuilder or anything like that, this is the product. Now is the time to buy it because you're going to get a huge discount. So buy 2 and get 1 free from now until just midnight. So you only have a few hours, a limited time to get your product, get 1 free. So buy 2, get 1 free. That's the offer we're giving out tonight. I guess a little flash sale presented by Rob. So thank you, Rob, and thank you everyone for tuning in tonight and getting our numbers up over 100 live viewers. Have a good evening, and we will see you all in the lab next week. You might not see me. I've been rotating. And by the way, Becca's been doing a great job. Thank you, Becca, for rotating these in the labs with me during this busy season, and maybe even the holiday season coming up. So you guys have a good evening. You might see me, or you might see Becca, or you might see somebody else. But either way, every Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Time, here in the lab with Dr. Tracy Gibbs. Thank you. Have a good night. Bye.